Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here's me, Nahdi, and my partner, Alba, from English Department, UIN Nabel, Surabaya. We would like to discuss about Percy Bysshe Shelley's famous poem, namely Love, Philosophy. First off, here's the introduction of the artist and the work. Percy Bysshe Shelley was born in United Kingdom on 4th August 1792, known for his radical view and notorious life. He married Mary Shelley, the creator of popular novel and character, namely Frankenstein. His work mostly revolved around love, hope, nature, and politics. And in this work in particular, Percy took love and nature as one and created love's philosophy. Percy then died on 8 July of 1822 in Italy, and he was known as the greatest artist or writer in Romantic literature era history, beside his friend James Joyce.
Okay, now let's talk about the poem. The poem itself tells about how the writer feels connected to the listeners and that they should be engaged in a romantic and physical relationship. However, the poem theme may include three of these components. The first one is connectedness. The connectedness came from the speaker's or the author's desire to have a physical love with the listeners. Second is nature. Like nature, as the writer mentioned, that nature such as water and air is to represent his feeling. The third one is the writer constantly trying to convince the listeners to have a physical love with him. In addition, the writer also suggests that love is a unifying force in nature, and with addition, humans should seek and embrace love to find fulfillment and harmony.
And here are the literary devices within love philosophy poem. The first one is conceit. Conceit was popularized by the poet named John Donne in works like The Flea. Shelley compares physical love to nature, interact with one another in an attempt to seduce the listeners of the poem. And the second one is alliteration. It is a common formal element that can be seen in most poetic writing, especially in romantic literature. And the third is enjambment. It is another structural device that can be seen in the transition between lines. And now moving on to the choice of word that Percy used. The first one is mingle. Mingle means to mix or to be connected and to be one, as the writer emphasized it in the early lines. And the second is clasp. The word clasp was used to utter his desire to hug the woman or listeners, like how the sunlight hugged the earth. The third one is law divine. It refers to natural law created by God. And last but not least is disdains. The writer feels as if the listeners or women want to remain separate from the writer. And the next one is about symbolism. We can see a couple of symbolism within the poem. And as for the example here is river, mountains, and sun. The first point is the rivers. In the line, the fountains mingle with the rivers, and the rivers with the ocean. The rivers and fountains symbolize individual souls or beings coming together in love. The merging of river and fountains mirrors the unity and harmony the speaker desires in a romantic relationship. And the second is mountains and vales. The line goes, "The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion." The writer used mountain and vales as symbols. Mountains can represent obstacles or challenges in love, while vales represent the lows or difficulties. The idea is that despite these challenges, love should persist and overcome, just as the wind mixes with a sweet emotion. The last is sun. While it may not be explicitly mentioned within the poem, the sun and moon can be symbolic. The sun might represent the warmth and passion of love, while the moon symbolizes the softer and mysterious. And together, they create a balance and completeness in the romantic relationship.
Okay, now let's talk about the poetic devices. There are two stanzas with 8 lines in each stanza of the poem. Furthermore, the poem has a rhyme scheme of ABAB and CD rhyme scheme. It is used in the whole poem. In the end rhyme, like river, ever, ocean, emotion, it makes the poem flow efficiently. And also, it gives a pleasant effect while reciting. The last one is stressed and unstressed syllable. The pattern of the poem is used in the entire poem, for example, like sea, the, mountains, kiss, hike, heaven.